doesn't sound like there was any panic, even when you were struggling a little bit in the fall. Where does that mindset come from? Does it come from just being a Philly kid? Like, where does that, is that something you've always had? You know what I mean? Because, obviously the reputation of Philadelphia is tough, and being able to get through adversity and blue collar and all the buzzwords people use for the city of Philadelphia. Is that where that comes from? Have you always had that mindset, or is that something that you've kind of learned? Because, again, I think there's something to be said about, obviously making the jump, but regardless of the jump you made, just going into a new place as someone who's, later in their college career, who had it figured out at the place they were, to then go and struggle a little bit in the beginning, it takes, a tough mindset to kind of be able to come through that. So where did you get that mindset? Is that something you've always had?
I feel like I've always had it, but like not like fully. So when I first started at Arcadia, obviously, my first year there, I struggled a little bit, and I butted heads with Coach Torsani, and but he helped me tremendously. I mean, he was like, hey, like, listen, like, obviously there's going to be games where you struggle, and you got to be able to just move on from it, and take everything, move on, next pitch and next at bat, not worry about the things that happen, just worry about what's to come. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, was figuring out, okay, like, hey, I struck out, so what? I'm just going to go next at bat, next ground ball, whatever it is. So I think that's what helped me, was just, finding that sort of mindset, and just, it all comes back to confidence at the same time, is just being confident in yourself and your abilities. And I think that's just the biggest thing, is just literally being confident in yourself.
And being confident is so hard. I mean, your story is so fascinating, as, under-recruited out of high school, right, and came to a Division III program and was an impact guy right away. Talk about kind of carrying that confidence when you are under-recruited. Like, it's so easy. We have a lot of high schoolers that are around the facility a lot that get under-recruited. It's very easy to lose faith, right? Lose faith in your abilities, and not everybody, like, you are the outlier of the story to go to Division III and then end up at a UNC Chapel Hill. But there are a lot of kids that are under-recruited that end up Division III all-conference guys and impact guys. So talk about how you kept your confidence and belief in yourself, even as a guy that wasn't recruited to the programs that you probably expected to be recruited to.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was, for me, I've always been a hard worker, and, I kind of just put a chip on my shoulder and just like to keep working, and I like to work in silence a little bit. So, obviously you can go and practice and do all the things when the coaches are watching, but I think the biggest thing is getting in that extra work, getting in the weight room, doing all the little things that some people think don't really matter, but, getting those extra swings by yourself, just tons of reps off the machine, obviously not overdoing it, because you can overdo it and start creating bad habits for yourself. But I think there's a time where, you need to get in there and just, figure out your swing, figure out what type of player you are, and just believing in yourself, and just constant hard work. And I think, obviously, if you work hard enough, you're going to get to where you want to be. So that was kind of my mindset, is just work as hard as possible. Obviously I have a dream and a goal, and I'm going to follow that, and whatever happens, happens.